the Giants. But if they can't get it done, things can get a little interesting. If Philly were to lose, they would need the Cowboys and 49ers to lose to claim the #1 spot. The 49ers need a win and an Eagles loss, while the Cowboys need a win and a loss by both Philly and San Fran. Amber, I'm going to start with you. Which is the most dangerous team in the NFC right now?
Can I choose no one? I mean, this NFC is a mess, frankly, right? And what are we talking about? We're talking about an Eagles team that, yes, has been phenomenal all season long. I think we all believe in Jalen Hurts, at least in a regular season. Don't forget, we haven't exactly seen him make some sort of postseason run and play in a Super Bowl either, and yet that's the expectation suddenly for this Eagles team. That's a solid team. The problem is I don't know about the health of Jalen Hurts. I know he's got a sprained shoulder. I know that's why Gardner Minshew is under center right now for that Eagles team. And by the way, if I'm the Eagles, his health is of the utmost priority. I would consider that carefully, even though you're still playing for home field. I'd consider that carefully as we head into week 18. But in other words, that Eagles problem has flaws, or that Eagles team has flaws. The 49ers, what we expect Brock Purdy to get it done, they have flaws. So I'm going to go, I guess, with the Dallas Cowboys because you're making me go with one. Harry is giving me the craziest look ever. Harry, all these teams in the NFC have problems, but at least what I saw against the Titans, and yes, Dak tried to give that game away in the first half to Tennessee. At least I saw, though, that fourth quarter from Dak Prescott, and that Cowboys team comes storming back. And that's what contenders do in this spot. If I look at the rosters from top to bottom, this Cowboys team is stacked. That Cowboys defense should be elite, should be able to get it done.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. And I love their defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. Also their head coach, who's their play caller, Kyle Shanahan. And the position he's been able to put Brock Purdy in, and the players they've been able, and John Lynch as well, to surround their quarterback with. Nothing but ballers and playmakers. But it's something to be said for when you look at the San Francisco 49ers defensively, and you can rush 4 guys and play coverage with the rest of them and get home. We seen it last year in the playoffs with the front 4. They just got Javon Kinlaw back, who was one of their former first-round draft picks, who was another body that can eat up space inside. I think they have the 3 best linebackers in the National Football League. The way they play, physical, can play the pass as well, but come downhill, could run sideline to sideline. Now, I like the addition of Shavarius Ward, even though Devontae Adams got the best of him yesterday.
It's Devontae Adams. It's Devontae Adams.
But that's my point. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I like Shavarius Ward is because while he was in Kansas City, all they did was play man coverage. Mm-hmm. Now he adds that element, and he's not afraid to be physical at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. I like Lenore. He's a young guy, but I still like him. Hufanga, he's a guy that's going to be aggressive. He's going to take chances, but you can live with his aggression and him taking chances and making plays versus giving up something every now and then. I can live with that. Now, when I look at the offensive side of the ball, I love the way they're built as well. You talk about players that I call star players. Deebo Samuel, who's going to be back, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. And since Brock Purdy has become the quarterback, I think George Kittle has really benefited more so from it, and Brandon Ayuk, because those guys play in their game has elevated tremendously.
We have Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want nobody. I like them all. I don't love nobody.
Yep.
I'm dating.
But you're not wrong with that.
I'm not gonna make nobody.
Who are you dating the most?
What?
Though?
I ain't dating nobody. We all date the same. Everybody get Piccadilly.
You're dating the Giants the same.
What? Everybody get a dilly dish.
Who gets Ruth Chris though?
Nobody.
Somebody.
You know what? In watching these teams, I think this is honestly a difficult week to answer this question, right? You look at the Philadelphia Eagles. If you are full strength with Jalen Hurts, I think I evaluate that team in a different way. Now we know that they've just lost Josh Sweat. Also, the Dallas Cowboys, we're evaluating them on the week. I had to come on here and be Captain Save a Cowboy and say, listen, we are critiquing the Cowboys more harshly than we are any other teams with what they've accomplished throughout this season. I think it's a 3-man race, a 3-team race once Jalen Hurts is back. I believe it's the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the team I trust the most to be themselves is the San Francisco 49ers. We know exactly who they are offensively, no matter who plays quarterback, and defensively with DeMeco Ryans. Even though we saw the Las Vegas Raiders have success yesterday, throughout the season in totality, they've been the best defense by far. I think that's the team that comes in with the most awareness. But if we get those other 2 quarterbacks, and as Amber mentioned with Dak Prescott, we get the Dak Prescott we saw for 3.5 quarters against the Philadelphia Eagles, and we get that defense turning the football over, I believe the Dallas Cowboys are the scariest team in the entire NFC.
All right, quick block, we got to go to break. We quarterbacks this past week. Dan, which team needs their starter more in Week 18, Miami or Philly?
Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has got to play. You know, in many ways, the Eagles lost those 2 games versus both Dallas and yesterday versus the Saints because Gardner Minshew, and I like Gardner, has turned the football over and taken sacks. He gave 3 takeaways versus Dallas, and he got sacked 6 times yesterday versus the Saints. You know how many times Jalen Hurts this season gave the football away 3 times or took 5+ sacks? A big fat 0. So the reality is this: the defense for Philadelphia is not playing well. They need the #1 seed and need to win that division. Jalen Hurts has got to play, and I understand that he is not as healthy as they want him to play, and Lane Johnson wouldn't be playing in that game. It is not a good situation for Philadelphia right now. It would give me massive concern, but Jalen Hurts has to play that football game, and they're going to have to find a way to beat a Giants team that's in the playoffs because they need to get that 1 seed in that first-round bye.
Okay, let's talk a little Monday Night Football. Tonight, a crucial AFC showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills with 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game, in Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, going up against one another for the first time in their careers. The Bills have already clinched their 3rd straight AFC East title, and the Bengals are a win or a tie away from clinching their 2nd consecutive AFC North title. This matchup has huge implications on the #1 seed in the AFC. The easiest path to home field advantage and first-round bye for the Bills is to win out. Now, the Bengals need to win out and some help from Kansas City, while the Chiefs' easiest path to the crown would be winning next week and having the Bills lose one of their next 2 games. All right, Harry, I'm going to start with you on this one. Which quarterback do you think will shine more tonight, Burrow or Allen?
With Joe Grapefruit Burrow, because he's that dude, man. Joe, the man walks around with the bravado. He walks around with the moxie that I'm that guy. I know I'm that guy. My teammates know. The opposing team knows. I'm pretty sure. Listen, I understand Josh Allen is Josh Allen, but I know Josh Allen's probably saying right now, I got to be better than Joe Burrow. Because one thing Joe Burrow has shown is that he's able to take his check downs. He's able to methodically work the football down the field. He's able to, not saying Josh Allen can't read defenses, but read things to a T and understand what's happening pre-snap before it actually happens. I think when you have a T. Higgins, when you have a Jamar Chase, when you have a Tyler Boyd, I think that really helps out a lot, because if the Bills want to play man coverage, which I don't think Leslie Frazier is going to do, then I think Joe Burrow's going to be able to eat up the Bills' defense in those regards. So when I look at Joe Burrow, everything about him says, baller, playmaker, I'm that guy, and this is my moment. Because he can go out here and have a hell of a showdown versus Josh Allen and the #1 seeded Bills right now, and that MVP conversation is going to get shifted one more time if he does.
No, Joe Cool is cool. Joe Cool is cool. But this comes down to the way that Josh Allen plays football. Because if we're talking about who is going to shine, there is nobody more exciting to watch in the National Football League, I think, at that position than Josh Allen. Joe Burrow is going to have a good game. We know that. Josh Allen, though, the way that he plays the game, he makes us hold our breath, but the way that he plays the game is so unbelievably exciting. And this is going to be a moment where he rises to the challenge and he shows off and he shows out. When you pull the numbers from these guys, in most every category, they're about neck and neck, which is interesting because Josh Allen's been hardly spoken about this season in terms of the MVP conversation, and Joe Burrow certainly has been. Of course, the one area where Burrow gets the nod over Allen is accuracy, and we know that Allen's coughed it up quite a bit this season, but he's a high-risk, high-reward player. There's nothing more exciting to watch than that. So as long as he can just protect the football some, we're going to get a more dynamic performance out of Josh Allen.
Well, first of all, Harry, Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the NFL, okay? That is
I hear you.
Signed, sealed,
but
and delivered.
I know Joe Dan
we all agree on that,
Joe Dan Burrow beat him. Have a hell of a night tonight, Joe, and we'll see about that one.
I love Joe. Second of all, my answer is Botham. And I'm spelling that in the way that Ryan Clark taught me how to say that. It's B-O-F with like an apostrophe E-M. Botham.
That's an interesting way to do it. Yeah.
Botham. I'll say Joe strictly because Buffalo's defense hasn't been Buffalo.